There is a psychological phenomenon where a person who has spent years betraying their partner develops a sense of moral ownership over the person they are hurting. You aren't just dealing with a mistake, you're witnessing the entitlement loop. Behavioral observations suggest that after years of getting away with infidelity, a woman begins to view your forgiveness not as a gift, but as her right. You think she is crying because she's sorry, but she is actually crying because the accountability debt has finally come due. You are the victim of the sunk cost manipulation. She believes that because you have already invested years of your life, your money, and your protection into her, you are too deep to walk away now. You're witnessing a psychological operation where your past loyalty is being used as a weapon to force your future compliance. You're the victim of the second chance scam. She isn't asking for a new start, she is asking for a new license to continue the old patterns without the fear of being caught. Today, we are breaking down why she feels entitled to your mercy after she showed you none, and how your goodness is being used to build the very bridge she plans to cross to hurt you again. If you don't watch this until the final second, you are choosing to be the backup plan for a woman who has already spent years treating you like a safety net. The most brutal truth a man must accept is that her begging for a second chance isn't about her love for you, it's about her fear of losing the comfortable life you provided while she was out building another one with someone else. Men, this channel is more than content. It's a brotherhood that exists for those who refuse to be controlled, distracted, or broken. My ex told me men today are too weak, too distracted, and too controlled to ever unite. I didn't argue. I decided to prove her wrong. Every man who subscribes is proof that discipline, self-respect, and strength still exist. If you stand for truth, self-control, and knowing your value as a real man, if you're here to sharpen your mindset and live with standards, subscribe and stay. Like this video and make your presence known in the comments. Let's see who's serious and is ready to prove doubters wrong. Because after this video, you will be reborn as a new man who has discovered himself and is ready to take back his manhood. Make sure to subscribe and stay ahead because we are just getting started. We have to look at the mechanics of deception fatigue. You see, brothers, when a woman cheats for years, she has to internalize the lie. Behavioral patterns show that she develops a narrative of justification. To keep living with herself, she has to make you the bad guy in her head. You are the victim of the preemptive blame shift. You think she is finding her way back to you, but you are actually experiencing the resource reclamation. She has realized that the grass wasn't greener, or the other man wasn't willing to pay her bills, and now she is returning to the person who makes her life easy. This leads us to the security anchor. You are being psychologically harnessed by a woman who sees your kindness as a weakness she can exploit. You are the victim of the mercy trap. The most dangerous part is the weaponized memory. She will bring up the good times from 10 years ago to hide the bad times from 10 minutes ago. Behavioral observations suggest that this is a sentimental diversion. She wants you to focus on the investment you've made so you don't look at the bankruptcy of her character. You are being spiritually liquidated by a person who is using your history to erase her hostility. You are the victim of the nostalgia hijack. She doesn't miss you, she misses the version of you that didn't know the truth. I want to tell you about a man named Jared. Jared was a high-earning architect who spent 12 years building a perfect life for his wife, Chloe. Jared worked 60 hours a week to provide the house, the cars, and the vacations. Chloe rewarded this by maintaining a secondary life with a man from her past for nearly 4 of those years. Jared only found out because of a stray iPad notification. Jared was the loser in this story because he chose the reconciliation delusion. When Chloe was caught, she didn't just apologize, she demanded a second chance. She told Jared that he owed it to their history and owed it to the kids to try again. She made Jared feel like he was the one breaking the family apart by wanting to leave. Jared was the victim of the forced forgiveness. He stayed. He spent the next 3 years paying for marriage counseling, while Chloe used the second chance to become even better at hiding her tracks. Jared failed because he didn't realize that a second chance for a person who hasn't changed is just a second opportunity to be a victim. He ended up losing his house, half his pension, and his mental health because he tried to fix a woman who felt entitled to his pain. He was the victim of the loyalty tax. You have to recognize the cold math of the infidelity ego. When a woman believes she is entitled to a second chance, she is performing a value assessment. She has decided that you are the safe option. Behavioral observations show that she views your willingness to stay as a confirmation of her power over you. You are the victim of the frame collapse. Every time you listen to her side, you are reinforcing the idea that her betrayal is a negotiable event. This leads us to the gaslight of grace. She will tell you that everyone makes mistakes and that if you really loved her, you'd forgive her. You are the victim of the emotional blackmail. Behavioral patterns suggest that women in this position use shame to keep the man from asserting his boundaries. You are being psychologically caged in a relationship where you are the one doing the work to heal from her crime. You are the victim of the burden shift. The loser's loop is the man who thinks more effort will prevent a second betrayal. You start taking her on more dates. You start checking her phone every night. You think vigilance is protection, but you are the victim of the warden's fatigue. Behavioral patterns suggest that you cannot police a woman into being faithful. You are being psychologically looped into a cycle of unpaid security work. You have to realize that her entitlement to a second chance is actually a disrespect for your first one. You are being drained of your masculine spirit by a woman who sees your mercy as her vulnerability. The final stage of this first section is understanding the biological signal of the betrayal stasis. This is the stage where your body knows you shouldn't be there. You have high blood pressure, you can't sleep, and you feel like a guest in your own home. You are being physically eroded by the stress of living with a person you can no longer trust. You are the victim of the chronic betrayal stress. The man you used to be was a man of action, but you have become a man of anxiety. You have to let that version of yourself die. You have to realize that the weight on your shoulders isn't the weight of the relationship, it's the weight of the lie you are helping her carry. If you are sitting across a woman who has spent years lying to your face, and you are actually considering her reasons for needing a second chance, you are essentially negotiating the terms of your own surrender. You need to understand the concept of the forgiveness fallacy. The man who wins this war isn't the one who shows the most mercy, it's the man who realizes that mercy without change is just an invitation for more misery. You are the victim of the moral high ground trap. She's betting on the fact that you are a good man who believes in redemption, and she's using that belief to bypass the consequences of her actions. You're witnessing a psychological pivot. She isn't sorry for the years of betrayal. She is sorry that her secret life was liquidated, and she needs a safe harbor to rebuild her ego. You're the victim of the opportunistic return. Today, we are finishing the blueprint of the sovereign judge. We are looking at the final tactical shifts, the absolute denial of the second chance, the science of the pattern over the apology, and the mastery of the final verdict. I'm going to show you why the most powerful thing a man can say to an entitled woman isn't, "I hate you," but "I no longer care to hear your side." If you don't watch this until the final second, you're choosing to be the recovery room for a woman who got injured while trying to leave you. I know men with standards are here. If you value discipline, respect, and strength, subscribe, like, and comment. We have to talk about the sovereignty of the irreparable break. You see, brothers, some things in this life cannot be fixed, and a multi-year betrayal is one of them. Behavioral observations suggest that the winner is the man who recognizes the integrity threshold. You are being neurologically reclaimed the moment you stop listening to her pleas and start looking at her timeline. You are the victim of the false hope until the day you decide that your future peace is worth more than her current comfort. This leads us to the science of the accountability strike. Most men think they are being strong by sticking it out and working on the marriage. This is a behavioral error. In her mind, your willingness to stay only proves that you can disrespect you for years and still have a home to come back to. You are the victim of the lack of consequences. Behavioral patterns show that the only way to restore your value is through the finality of the exit. You are being psychologically reset. By refusing to grant the second chance, you finally force her to face the reality she spent years trying to avoid. I want to tell you about a man named Caleb. Caleb was a dedicated father and a high-level manager who found out his wife, Maya, had been involved with a colleague on and off for 3 years. When the truth came out, Maya didn't run away. She doubled down. She cried, she blamed postpartum depression from 5 years ago, and she insisted that because she was now choosing him, Caleb owed it to her to start fresh. Caleb was the winner in this story because he chose the cold logic of the sovereign. He didn't yell, he didn't ask for the details. He simply looked at Maya and said, "You didn't give me a second chance to be a respected husband during those 3 years. You made 1,000 choices every day to lie. I am not a choice you make when your other options fail. I am the standard." Caleb won because he realized his self-respect was a non-negotiable asset. He ignored the family pressure and the entitled tears. He sold the house, split the assets fairly, and moved to a city where nobody knew him as the guy who got cheated on. Caleb won because he realized that the second chance she wanted was actually just a life support system for her lifestyle. 2 years later, Caleb was in the best shape of his life, dating a woman who valued transparency above all else. Caleb won because he understood that a man's grace is a limited resource, and he finally started spending it on himself. You have to recognize the biological rebirth of the high-standard male. This is a biological fact. When a man stops absorbing the trauma of a partner and starts asserting the boundary of his life, his testosterone stabilizes and his clarity peaks. You are the victim of the emotional parasite as long as you are trying to help her change. But the moment you realize she is responsible for her own soul, your freedom returns. You are being biologically optimized to lead a life of truth. Her entitlement was a test of your strength, and by walking away, you passed it. The winner's protocol is about the sovereignty of the final frame. You have to look at your life and realize that you are the supreme court of your own existence. No one gets to appeal your decision when they have spent years violating your laws. You are the sovereign man. You recognize that loyalty is a 24/7 job, not a part-time gig. You are being hardened for the throne. Healing is the realization that her begging was the final manipulation designed to see if you still had a weak spot she could exploit. You are being reforged. You now know that a second chance is something you give to a child who broke a vase, not a grown woman who broke a covenant. You are the master of your own psychology. You don't need her to understand why you're leaving, to know that leaving is the only option. You just need to honor the man in the mirror. You are the sovereign man. You are the master of your own destiny. You don't look back at the years of betrayal with regret. You look at the moment of departure as your Independence Day. So here is the smart question for the Brotherhood today. If she spent years proving she could live a life without respecting you, why does she suddenly believe she can't live a life without using you? I want to hear from the men who said no to the second chance and yes to their own future. How did your life change when you stopped being the safety net for someone who didn't mind letting you fall? For the brothers who are currently feeling guilty for wanting to leave, be honest. Are you staying because you love her, or are you staying because she has successfully convinced you that you're the villain for finally having a standard? Drop your story in the comments. Your strength might be the permission the brother next to you needs to finally close a book on a story that should have ended years ago. This channel is for men who are done blaming themselves for other people's choices. If that's you, don't leave as a spectator. Subscribe and stay ahead because we're just getting started. Support the message, speak in the comments, and stand with the men who choose clarity over confusion. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay cold, stay in your power.